All right. I think it's live. Is there anybody out there? Hello. Is there anybody out there? Okay. I think I'm live. 9 people. We're waiting. I was a couple minutes late there. Sorry, guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon or good morning. Good night. Wherever you may be. David Tawil's throwing out the questions already. Don't even say hi first, David. Come on. What's up, Michelle from Bel Air, Maryland? Bel Air, Maryland. Wow. Chicago, Peter Padilla. Aaron, what's up, Aaron? Evan, Gihanna's Kitchen. What's up, Gihanna's Kitchen? Jordan F, what's up, man? RN is here. Good evening. This is always while I'm at work, says Justin Barber Marulio. Yeah, so here's the thing. It's like this is working hours. I mean, when else would I do this? Sorry, buddy. I hope you can actually hear me at work or actually tune in and listen. But I also hope somebody's not paying you to watch me slack off at work. That would suck for whoever's paying you for work. All right. Atlantis Salud, what's up? David Tawil, what's up? All right, David Tawil, chickpeas on a ketogenic diet. Chickpeas. All right, I haven't eaten chickpeas in so long. Let's see what chickpeas look like nutritionally. Chickpeas. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say no, chickpeas. All right, here you go. Chickpeas. 100 grams of chickpeas got 61 grams of carbohydrate. There's a very, very high carb food. That's a legume. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, any legumes, chickpeas, beans, legumes, you're going to want to avoid on a ketogenic diet. Sorry, if you like those chickpeas, if you're going to do a ketogenic diet, you've got to drop them. Now, that's not because chickpeas are bad food. There's nothing wrong with chickpeas. But on keto, too many carbs. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see. Wow, we got Brisbane, Australia. Atlantis Salute Spa says, where are you in Ecuador? It's top secret. Top secret Atlantis Salute Spa. I'm in a highly secure location. Highly secure location in the Andes of Ecuador. Highly secure. Meaning my gate is tied with a little rope. But it's secure for my dogs. It actually is very secure. I'm in the Loja province. I'll give you that. La Provincia de Loja. Okay. Jer and Amanda. What's up? You guys were here last Hangout a few days ago, right? Jer and Amanda. Zoran Verkic from Croatia. Hello, Croatia. Got from Ecuador to Croatia, Cardiff, Wales. I mean, we've got people in California, Cyprus. This is crazy. And we've got so many comments. This is absurd. Why? There's so many people joining these now. Hello, everybody. Pop out chat. I got to do the pop out chat. And you know what? I do have trouble. If there's too many questions and it fills up, I'm not able to scroll back all the way sometimes. So I might not even see all the questions that there are. Jordan F., what's up? Somebody with a name in Russian or Czechoslovakian or a Russian individual watching today. What's up? How cool is this? So many people from all over. All right. Christopher McAdams says, first time being able to watch it live. Yay. Awesome. Gihanna's Kitchen says they are very high in carbs. There's a lag time between me and your comments, guys. All right. Let's see. Hi, Tristan. I was watching a vid of Stephanie Keto. She says no cheese or coffee. What's your take? Okay, my take on cheese and coffee. There's 100 different ways to go about anything. There's 1,000 different opinions on the best way to do everything. And if you're like a perfectionist and you want to do everything perfect, which a lot of people, I don't know, for some reason, a lot of the people I've been talking to lately, a lot of the clients I've been talking to lately are like the type of individual when they get into something, they get so into it. And the internet has a way, the way the internet is now, there's so much content, there's so many different like opinions on everything that people can get cognitive overload. You can get decision fatigue, where you have so many different decisions to make, and you can't make any decision. You can't figure out what to do. This person says this person says that. I can do this first. I can do that first. I can do a ketogenic diet. I can do intermittent fasting. I'm not allowed to intermittent fast. So I can do this. I can do that. There's a million different ways. People get overwhelmed. So, all right. So you're asking about cheese and coffee. So for a lot of individuals, coffee and cheese can be a problem, right? I mean, come on. We can't pretend that cheese isn't super easy to overeat, and that coffee can't cover up underlying derangements that one has going on with your energy production, because we shouldn't be in a state where we have to wake up every single morning and I gotta have my coffee. I get out of bed, I gotta have my coffee. Now, look, like Jessica made some coffee this morning. She was drinking coffee this morning. Coffee's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with coffee. But if you need it 5 times a day, if you need it to get out of bed, if you need coffee in between every meal, come on, there's something going on. If you need coffee to function, you should be able to generate energy. You should be able to generate energy throughout the day, anytime. In the morning, when you wake up, you should be able to generate energy without coffee. So that's my take on coffee. Nothing wrong with it, but if you're going nuts with it and you need it, then maybe you got to rearrange your relationship. You probably are trying to plug up some energetic leak from another area of your life that you need to get under control. So there's coffee. Cheese, easy to overeat. So some people should avoid it. And if you're lactose intolerant and you've got a sensitivity to cheese, you're very sensitive to it, then of course it should be avoided. But does that mean that everybody in the world is this allergic to cheese and needs to avoid it? Not in my opinion. No. So there we go. And that's that. Tony says, can I take BCAAs? Of course you can. You can take whatever you want. I guess maybe what you're asking, I mean, most of the content on this channel is about diet. It's about ketogenic diet. A lot of it. Not all of it. But I mean, I guess if you're asking in the context of a ketogenic diet, can you take BCAAs? Of course, there's no need. But why are you wasting money on BCAAs in the first place? Haven't you seen like the actual research about these things? They're not really doing anything for you. And on a ketogenic diet, you have increased circulating BCAAs already. For those of you who don't know what BCAAs are, BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, are building blocks, very, very important signaling molecules for muscle protein synthesis, and they do seem to play an important role in the generation of muscle tissue and the rebuilding of muscle. So a lot of people take BCAAs because they're heavily marketed. But I think a lot of the marketing claims that were made about BCAAs have been recently shown to be pretty much false. So BCAAs, you can take them. They're not going to mess you up on a ketogenic diet, but don't waste your money, in my opinion. All right, here's a good question. Here's a good question. What's your advice on total carbs versus net carbs? Good question. Net carbs. That's what you're counting. You are counting net carbs. You're doing a ketogenic diet, count net carbs. But try not to eat a bunch of these processed foods. Like when you look at net carbs on like, junk foods, like keto junk foods, where the net carbs, like they play net carb games, Quest bars, stuff like that. I don't know. I would say you're better off not eating candy bars that are playing net carb nutrition facts manipulation games to market to low carb people. I don't think that's a good strategy if you're looking for long-term fat loss or just like, a healthy diet in general. I think we should make most of our food. And I think, it's just preference. It's all preference. I think making your own food, preparing your food from scratch, from ingredients that you've gathered, individual ingredients, is always going to yield better results nutritionally than prepackaged food. It makes sense, right? Oh, non-processed food is going to be nutritionally superior to processed food. I don't even know why I feel like apologetic for saying that. I guess it's funny when you do content like this, right? So I always get comments. I'm a big supporter and a big proponent of organic foods. of local organic agriculture. That's the only way to feed the world. It's the only way to feed the planet. You're not going to feed the planet using Monsanto grown, microbiome destroying, glyphosate drenched, monocropped, monopolized crops. You're not going to feed the world with these. You've been sold a lie. You've been told you need GMOs, corn, soy, and wheat. These three bastardized foods that have been so destroyed and so mutated from an edible form and sprayed. I mean, the worst part, I mean, like the genetic modification, I don't know, the research, it's easy for them to kind of say, oh, there's nothing wrong with it. Look, we've done these studies on rats, whereas there's a plethora of studies showing negative effects, especially a lot of the Russian studies on these GMOs showing sterilization of rats within 3 generations, them growing hair on their tongues when they're fed the GMO soy. I mean, this is real research. This is documented. This is legit. This isn't just me pulling this out of my ass. That's real stuff. Skype messages popping up, totally different subject, and just threw me into a whole different reality of my life. Isn't it funny how that happens? I be talking about this. I see one sentence that somebody throws up about something else I'm highly interested in that's going on in my life, and my mind is like, whoa. Sorry, everybody, sidetracked. Anyways, I guess what I'm saying on my crazy tangent here is that I get it. It's annoying. Like, you get these people comment. I've got certain videos where I'm talking about the reasons I spend more money on organic foods. The reason I will spend a few extra bucks on getting locally grown food, like real food, not mass-produced, industrial, bastardized GMO crap that's sprayed with a bunch of pesticides. They're toxic, chelate the soil, destroy your microbiome and the soil microbiome. Because I don't support that. People come on, they'll say, the standard silly arguments like, well, you need GMOs to feed the world, stuff like this, these marketing PR, repetition, parroted phrases. And I don't know, it's funny. But I guess I let that, when you put out content, when you see enough comments on videos and stuff like that, you really do, no matter how good you are, not letting it get to you, like the nagging, annoying ones that are always trying to argue with you about petty crap, they do start to literally like I'm feeding the trolls right now. Doesn't matter. No, I really don't care what you guys say, but I do find myself responding to you guys sometimes. Unfortunately, nature of consciousness. All right, I believe my recent intake of BCAAs and whey protein isolates kicked me out of ketosis. Thoughts on supplementing with either while on keto? All right, you're using whey protein isolates and BCAAs, and you think they kicked you out of ketosis. Whey protein isolate, a direct shot of whey protein, will, I mean, if you measure your blood ketones before and after, you will have a drop in the blood ketones from that. You will have a drop. But I mean, if you're using whey protein isolate and BCAAs, you're probably not doing a ketogenic diet for medical reasons. So you probably don't need to be worrying about maintaining medical level ketosis all the time. For your situation, again, I just talked about BCAAs. I think they're mostly useless. Whey protein isolate, not a big fan either. Like, why don't you just eat food? Why don't you just wait till you can actually sit down, have a meal, and eat that? Or bring real food with you, like a less, I don't know, just a balanced meal. If you're looking for long-term health and for good results, really, I mean, you're better off preparing food and bringing it with you. So that's what I'll say about that. Do you recommend 5% total carbs or 5% of net carbs? I don't recommend 5% carbs. Don't recommend 5% carbs. I don't recommend 80% fat. I don't recommend 15% protein. I don't recommend 10% protein. I don't recommend 20%, 30%. I don't do macronutrient ratio recommendations. I look at it in terms of grams, and I simply adjust protein, fat, and carbohydrates according to the needs, desires, goals, history, and current state of an individual. That's how I look at it. Hold on. Dude, come here. Come here. Come here. Dude needs some attention, guys. Hey. Oh, that's disgusting sound. What's up? What's up? Come here. Hey, sit down. Sit down. What are you doing out there? What are you doing out there, buddy? You're a good boy. You're acting like you've been naughty. Have you been naughty? You're a good boy. Just kind of always got that mopey look, don't you? Duke's got a permanent mope face. Bye, Duke. He's limping. He's just walking weird. I don't know. Oh, Duke. It's causing trouble. All right. Macronutrient percentages, ratios. That don't concern me. Are you on a medical ketogenic diet and 5 years old and want to be maintaining the same weight that you're at and have no change in body composition? Then maybe that 80% fat, 5% carb stuff will work for you. But if you're athletic and you're moving around a lot, say you're working out 3, 4 to 5 times a week, or you do manual labor, you work outside, you use a lot of energy, you're going to require a different ratio of carbs, fat, and protein to get the results you want. I've talked about this so many times. The macronutrient ratio thing comes from medical ketogenic diets. Check out some of my other videos. Talk about it so many times. I'm not going to talk about it again. All right. What's your opinion on honey, Sarah? See, I try to do my best to really get into it and like flesh it out with these questions. It's so funny to me just talking. You know, I see the questions, right? But I can't see the people. I just see the words. So I'm talking to a screen. And then I see myself in the peripheral while I'm looking at the picture of the words and people's faces and stuff. What a strange reality this is. All right. I'm a type 2 diabetic. What are your thoughts on keto fixing this problem? Should I try it? Is it safe? So let me just reiterate. I am not a doctor. I'm not a member of the medical profession. I am not sanctioned to give you medical advice. And I will not give you medical advice. So you're a type 2 diabetic. You should do a little bit more research on keto and the thousands of people that have been using it for type 2 diabetes. It's very, very effective for reducing insulin resistance, lowering your body fat level, because when you do lower your body fat level, when you get rid of adipose tissue, of visceral fat, especially around the organs, in the belly fat is like the worst one. When you get rid of the belly fat, the insulin resistance goes away. Your blood sugar stabilizes. So it's like you have diabetes, or I am diabetic and I'm going to be diabetic forever. There's people that are reversing these states quickly on diets before they even drop all the weight, even just through maintaining stable blood sugar through diet and lifestyle changes. And it's not just about diet. You got to understand, like stress reduction, circadian rhythm, timing your exposure to light, natural light, artificial light. These things are important. I mean, there's a ton of research coming out showing the importance of the circadian rhythm, the clock genes all throughout our body that are synced to the rhythms of light, the cycles of light and darkness around us. It's incredible. You're not just an isolated creature built of isolated parts. You're not that. You're not just, it's like when you look at physiology, like anatomy stuff, at least when I was growing up, I'm 30 this year. So this is, when you look at anatomy, it was taught that you get taught things in chunks. Like you break it down, you segment, you compartmentalize the information. We were taught a compartmentalized version of the body that doesn't even really exist. You're a complex organism, systems within systems within systems, interacting with complex organisms and environmental flux and changes in circadian rhythms, light, dark cycles of abundance and famine, cycles of cold and hot, cycles of, just duality in general, right? It's not, we aren't just a pieced together machine and, there it is. You're not like a car. You're not just a bunch of parts put together. Carrie S. Hangout in North Idaho. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Carrie. Morka Z. Hey, thanks for all your content. How can you increase your energy levels? There's 100 different ways that I can answer that. How do you increase your energy levels? Well, we talked about coffee earlier. Some people use caffeine. Some people use drugs to increase their energy level. Some people don't. Some people just maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. Some people know how to breathe, how to deep breathe and pump themselves up with energy. Some people just have energy all day because they're focusing on the right things, the things that light them up, that ignite their passion, that make them excited and happy to be alive. there's many different ways that one can get more energy. Sarah Messenger, here's my favorite one on the list. What's your opinion on honey? I think honey is one of the most incredible foods in the world. What? Yeah, I do a ketogenic diet most of the time. But when I'm not doing a ketogenic diet, it usually doesn't last that long because I feel much better in ketosis. But you know what? I have found that my tolerance to carbohydrates has greatly increased. You know, when I do eat carbs now, it's not that I can eat a bunch of junk food and feel good. I don't do that, but I like to eat honey when I do come off of a ketogenic diet occasionally. And what I'll do is I'll still eat a high-fat diet. I'll just decrease the fats a little bit and eat maybe, I don't even know, a few tablespoons of honey a day. So I might be at like, I don't know, my carb intake's probably 50 to, I don't know, maybe 70 grams, 70 to 100 grams max. When I do that, and that's usually from just honey. The rest of it's mostly the same foods I eat when I'm on a ketogenic diet. Eric 3 Frog, rather says the dog looks like he's in trouble. Guilty look. Yeah, super guilty, right? And limping. Why are you limping and why? Well, I kind of know why he was limping. Yeah, all right. I know why he was limping. Kind of. But naughty dog. Very naughty. He's a really good boy, too. She's Tune Up PC says, beautiful dog. Thank you. How's his leg? His leg's fine. He brought it upon himself. Those dogs are like tanks. I mean, they can take a lot. He was limping real bad the other day. He ran in front of the car. Like, he's always running in front of the car when I come home. I've got this big hill. If you slow down on this hill and it's been raining or it's wet, you start slipping around, and you got to get out of the car, like park it, stall it out because the parking brake isn't strong enough to hold it on the stupid drum brakes on my truck big thing. So I don't like stopping going up this hill. And he's always running out and barking at the car constantly. I mean, just since he was a puppy, you come out, bark at the car, come right up next to the front wheels, and kind of just skirt to the side of him while the car drives by. But he gets dangerously close to the wheels. And he's always done it. I've tried 1,000 different things. I mean, he's well trained in many regards, but it's just he can't help it. And yeah, I came home in a different truck. I came home in a new truck, and he ran right in front of his foot, like kind of nicked by one of the knobs on these big old tires. And he was limping around for a few days. Now he's out there barking at nothing. I'm not upset with him. I'm just kidding. He's a sweet dog. Okay. Are omega-3 enriched eggs a good source of DHA? Fantastic question. No, those are probably not a great source of DHA. So omega-3 is not just DHA. There's different forms of omega-3. DHA and EPA are both omega-3 fatty acids. Both of them are only found in marine-based foods. You can also find DHA in algae, but the algae is not in the DHA rather, is not positioned geometrically in the right position, which is called the SN2 position. It's not in that position to where it can be assimilated by humans when it's in algae. So we require fish to eat algae, turn that algae into an edible form of DHA, the SN2 position, which we then eat from the fish, from their fat cells. And that's how we get DHA. Omega-3 enriched eggs would, most of them, be fed things like flax. Hey, some of them might be eating fish. It might have DHA, more DHA. Some of them might be eating a lot of bugs. If you've got grubs or if you've got a garden, you've got your own chickens, and they eat bugs, they'll be more full of DHA. But I wouldn't rely on those as a major source of DHA. Just eat fish, you know? I mean, what's up? Eat some sardines. Go be a wuss. Eat sardines. There's so many people, they think that sardines are disgusting. And yeah, they're like, oh, sardines? Like, it's so gross. Have you ever tried them? I don't think so. Hey, like I had the same reaction initially to like sardines. I don't know. It sounds kind of lame. When I tried sardines knowingly, this was only a few years ago, they were delicious. They're so good. They're really, really good. And they're not anchovies, which is what I thought they were before. Anchovies are very pungent. Anchovies come like in little tiny slivers, and they're very, I don't know, they're super, super pungent. They're like very fishy. salty, fishy things are anchovies. But those aren't sardines. Sardines are about that big. Some of them even bigger. Some of them are kind of small if you like the bristling sardines, really little ones. Yeah. Eat some sardines for that DHA. Or just get some salmon, some wild-caught salmon. Luba says, Nick, chickpeas, phytates. That might be a problem. It's kind of a debatable thing. Look, phytates, phytic acid, these, I mean, look deeper into that. It's not just like, oh, phytic acid bad, phytates bad. Some of these phytates can be really powerful signaling molecules and actually trigger the immune system to strengthen itself, kind of act similarly to like vitamin C and certain vitamins. Yes, phytates are considered anti-nutrients, but the amounts that are in most of these foods are not that high. But if you're eating them chronically, hey, maybe it could become an issue. And with everything else we have going on, you know, I mean, there's, yeah, maybe you're right, but I don't think they're inherently bad. I don't buy the whole like all phytates are bad. You can't eat any seeds, nuts, anything like that. If you're concerned about phytates, you can soak these things. You can soak nuts. You can soak seeds. You soak the chickpeas before you cook them. You can use, if you look into like Weston A. Price Foundation, they've been putting out information on this type of stuff for a while. And we used to do a lot of these things like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when we would eat other foods. And we, chickpeas, lentils, things like that. We used to sprout them because we thought that the phytates maybe weren't the best thing. That being said, I don't eat chickpeas. I don't eat beans. Like, I don't miss these things. So, I don't know. They're not bad. What I'm saying is they're not bad foods inherently. On a ketogenic diet, they're not going to fit for you. They don't work on a ketogenic diet. So leave it at that. Okie dokie. Alcohol on keto. All right, I've got a few videos on or talking about this. Maybe I haven't done an entire video of alcohol on a ketogenic diet. Alcohol on keto. Don't drink beer. Don't drink mixed drinks that are high in sugars. And go for red wine. Don't drink all the time because it's not a good habit. Don't get drunk and act foolish because it's a terrible habit. Don't eat when you're drinking because that's, say, a good habit, because I don't know if drinking's a good habit, but look, don't eat when you're drinking. If you're going to drink, the thing that happens is that we want to soak up that alcohol with pizza and other junk food. And that's where this can become a problem. And also, if you're burning alcohol for fuel, which is what happens when you put alcohol in your body. Alcohol is toxic in your body. You can't build up in the blood. You will burn that off first. You're not going to burn carbohydrates. You're not going to burn fat if you're taking alcohol into your system. So there you go. Banana Boy, why did you stop fruitarianism? Also, did you do it correctly? I was never a fruitarian. I never took that Kool-Aid. I never drank that that thick, creamy banana Kool-Aid, banana smoothie Kool-Aid. No, never was a fruitarian. Did I do it correctly? How does one do fruitarian diet correctly? Is that like you do it till your teeth fall out? You do it till you're completely insane and just like durian rider? I don't know. The fruitarian diet. Like that's I try not to do this. You guys bait me in these live things because I don't really censor myself most of the time on these, but I try to be nice. Come on, fruitarian diet. Did you do it correctly? Did you do a fruitarian diet correctly? Did you do a dangerous nutrient deficient diet that I've seen destroy many people's health and well-being for long periods of time, just ravage people? Did I do it correctly? No, I didn't do it at all. All right. Gihanna's Kitchen. Do you recommend cardio on keto? Cardio is fine on a ketogenic diet. No contraindication. Do I recommend it across the board for everybody? Of course, there will be scenarios where, you don't want somebody to exert a lot of energy. If somebody's super stressed out and their circadian rhythm is terrible, if they're not sleeping right, if they're just stressed out, on edge, nervous, anxious, pissed off, depressed, then excessive exercise, sometimes can be a problem. Also, if it's just excessive exercise in general, can be a problem. Even for healthy individuals who exercise all the time, you can push the limits. You can cause a chronic inflammatory response and not give yourself time to recover. So, I mean, you're just starting keto and you're one of these people who are doing, I do cardio in the morning. I run 5 miles every day. In those cases, I have people, if I'm working with a client or if somebody were, if a friend of mine was going to be doing this, I would say, hey, back off of the 2-a-day workouts, super crazy intense workouts a little bit while you're adapting, and then gradually increase intensity as the energy is there, because you will have the lag time, a few weeks to even for some people, a few months where performance is not going to be where it was once at, but it'll return. Your strength will return, your stamina will return. You will survive. You'll be okay. Carrie Meggie says, help. I've been doing this for 9 days. So she's probably talking about ketogenic diet for 9 days, and her head feels like it's swimming. What do you mean swimming? You mean you feel nauseous? You feel awful? No, that's not normal. But it is a symptom that a lot of people will go through when they're adapting to keto. Make sure to get your electrolytes. Sodium, magnesium, potassium. If you're low on sodium, you will get that swimmy headedness. It just feeling really out of it, lethargic. Fly on my face. You got to get in your electrolytes. Sodium's the easiest one. So what I need you to do, you want to get back on track and do it right, get at least a 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt 3 times a day. I mean, that's like an easy blanket recommendation for most people. That will get you the sodium you need. 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of salt per day. Magnesium glycinate, 400 milligrams, once to twice a day should be enough magnesium. Magnesium dietarily, yeah, you can get a lot of magnesium from greens. We want to get these things from the diet, but most of our foods are nutrient depleted. Most of our soil has been destroyed by glyphosate, by pesticides, by toxic. Glyphosate is an antibiotic that binds up to nutrients like manganese and makes it depletes the soil. Magnesium is one of the magnesium deficiencies and one of the most prominent nutrient deficiencies that people have across the board, especially in the standard American diet. So magnesium, you can get it dietarily. Eat greens, of course, eat vegetables, but I recommend in most cases just take some magnesium. Most of us can do with a little bit more magnesium. So that should help you out. Magnesium and sodium. Potassium you can get from the diet. Eat avocados, salmon, spinach, pumpkin seeds are another good source. And you'll be fine. Magnesium, sodium, potassium. That's what creates that keto flu symptom. So if you're getting the keto flu, if you're feeling lightheaded, if you're feeling crappy, if you're feeling below energy levels, if you're feeling your energy levels are low, rather, electrolyte depletion. Lakshay Chug says, chat limit 200. What does that mean? Chat limit 200? Oh, does that mean 200 characters or 200 people? I don't know. I'm still seeing the chat. The chat's still going. Doobie Brown says, what's your favorite lift, bro? That's fun. My favorite lift. I don't know. I haven't actually, lift. I kind of like kettlebells more than barbells right now. I'm more of a fan of swinging some stuff around now. My favorite lift. You know what I would like? You know what lift I would really like? I'd like a car lift. I'd like a lift and a big garage. I would like 2 lifts, actually. That's my favorite type of lift, bro. The lift that'll put my truck up over my head, meaning you can walk under it and work on it from underneath it, not have to use jack stands and jacks and lift. Una levanta. All right. Let's see. Barnana Boy says, I thought you said you did. My bad. Enjoy the reply, though. Thank you. Don't take it personal, you see. But you know, man, you know that a lot of these vegans are wild, man. I had a spoof video of Darian Ryder. I took it down. It's just pointless. Keep it like that's not what this channel's about. But it really, at the time, he really was asking for it. And I've seen this guy around for a while. These fruitarian people. There was a time when I was doing vegan diet, so familiar with like the whole vegan world. And just because I was doing a vegan diet doesn't mean I was a vegan. Doesn't mean I bowed to before the altar of veggies. I didn't submit to the vegan religion. I didn't join in with the veganer than thou crew. But I certainly have brushed shoulders with a lot of these guys. Hey, Christopher McAdams says he has the same copper mug. Woo, woo. It's a nice copper mug. Doobie Brown remembers the Darian Ryder video, he says. It was pretty funny. I want to see the spoof video. Look, I still have it. It's on my channel. I just put it on private. Like, I put this video out, and then a few months later, the guy really got taken down. And I remember seeing a video of him crying on YouTube, and I was just like, this dude's so pathetic and broken now. Like, that guy, I don't know what he's doing now. But before that, I really, like, he was doing some crazy stuff. And I've even personally known people that he had, like, attacked within certain communities. Just weird stuff. The guy was just out of control. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I put that video out, and then like a few months later, all this, like, people would send me links of like, look at Darian Ryder now, and I just saw what this guy was going through, and he just got fully like unmasked before everyone's like a reality show. It was crazy. So I felt bad because I felt like I played a major part in certain, like, just energetically of like really pulling this guy down. And I don't know. Hey, there's a time and place. There's a time and place for everything. I took the video down. I didn't feel like bad or what. I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't want it to be like part of a feeding frenzy, like on this guy as he was like part of his demise, And I knew that, yeah, this little girlfriend, Freely, the banana girl, and she had to see that video. He saw it and he commented on it. And like I don't know. It was just so funny to see these things. The internet's crazy. Just the ability to do that, right? Put out a video like that, spoofing somebody, and like really going for the jugular. All right. Morad M says, hope you're doing well, Tristan. How do you start your mornings food-wise? Well, thank you. I hope you're doing well too. I'm doing great today. I mean, there's great things about today, things that were not so awesome about today. It's like every day. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on psychedelics for self-improvement? Psychedelics don't necessarily equal self-improvement. Psychedelics can be a tool for self-improvement. I don't like the word psychedelics. I'm not look, and this is coming from somebody who used to be very pro these things. You judge a tree by its fruits. I don't know. I guess that's what we'll say. Judge a tree by the fruit. Judge a tree by the fruit and investigate the roots of the fruit. You can judge a tree by its fruit, and you should also investigate its root. That's what I'll say about the psychedelic movement. Psychedelics. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, distractions, hedonism, selfishness, break up the family. Divorce rates skyrocket. The family completely dismantled. I mean, it's all part of a historical narrative, right? Psychedelics. Hey, but the things themselves, they can be useful tools. But any tool can be used in a good way or bad way, right? It's like a knife. So this little tiny thing right here. It looks all big if I put it against the camera. So look, it's like the size of my finger. Cool little knife. Very sharp. It's like razor sharp. It's a tanto. It's got several little edges on the tip of it. Pretty cool. Anyways, that knife, this can be used to perform like an emergency appendectomy. This can be used to surgically correct something. This can be used for good, or this can be used as a weapon for bad. Same with your mind. Same with your heart. Same with every thought we attach to, with every thought we allow to flow, to continue, with every action we do. Somber Heart says, he said Sprite was a good way to carb up. You want to see this spoofing? All right, so he's talking about Durian Rider. Yeah, he used to say that, right? Sprite, so good. And then he got obsessed. And then there was like a few years where he was obsessed with steroids. He was so mad because there's the fitness YouTube thing blew up. So then like just all this jealousy, weird stuff, like everyone's on steroids, and just went out of control with that. And then himself like got outed for being on steroids and like lying about it. Super, super funny. Like one of the most hilarious character arcs of any of the YouTube people. It's funny. It's really funny. Hey, but what if he like sees it all, like backs up, Durian Rider just backs up, sees it all, is just like, wow, what a joke, you know? I've been so like, I don't know. I mean, he has a chance. Everyone's got a chance to see things differently. Everybody's got a chance to correct themselves and to get back in line. I'm not like, when I made fun of Durian Rider, it wasn't him as a person, right? It's the energy. It's the thing that I was coming up against. I hope the guy turns his life around and has an awesome, productive, healthy, happy life. I really like that. Would be cool. You know, I don't know. Brings me back to the previous question that somebody had about psychedelics. Like if somebody who's a psychopath, no moral compass, like had some traumatic experiences in their life, was embittered to the core, pure, like, you know, broken individual, abused as a child, can't trust anybody, you know, full on the whole deal. That type of person takes your psychedelics, you know, if that person goes and drinks like ayahuasca or whatever, you know, gets some whatever. I mean, there's all these fakes, these weird synthetic psychedelics now that go around these scenes, and they're dangerous. You know, I mean, there's drugs that people are selling, telling people it's another drug that physically wouldn't harm them, and then they're selling them a drug that at just 2 times the dose of another drug that wouldn't be harmful at that dose, at just 2 times the dose, you can put somebody like in a hospital or maybe kill them. That stuff's going on. So, I mean, yeah. But anyways, if a psychopath was going to take the psychedelics like that, what would happen? What happens? What happens when somebody who's had very intense trauma goes into a visionary state like that and becomes hyper suggestive, hyper aware, but a little freaked out and very suggestible? What happens? Or what happens when a person like that, who's relatively unhinged already, has very little left, very little empathy for people left, been hurt so much, has gone through so much crap, and is so deep into the, you know, lifelong decision of just being a shitty person, takes it? What happens? I mean, you've seen it. You've seen this thing in history, right? All the tools, all the powerful tools can be used by anybody. A monkey with any monkey can grab one of these. And what it doesn't look like, it's a knife. It looks, it's just an example. All right. Do you read/listen to any books? If so, could you share them? Read or listen to? Yeah, I love books. Here's a book. I'll share this one. The Glass Bead Game. This is a fantastic book. This is like I'm a literature buff. You know, I'm really, really into literature. I like poetry. I like all of it. You know, history. History. Yeah, there's one. The Glass Bead Game. Fantastic book. I mean, I haven't even been writing in it. I've read the first chapters of it like 10 times. Very, very well done. The Glass Bead Game. All right. You should get on the Joe Rogan podcast or Fighter and the Kid. Joe Rogan, that would be fun. That'd be fun. I mean, why would they have, like, I've just got a YouTube channel of 40,000 subscribers. These are huge gigs, right? Like Joe Rogan's podcast, one of the biggest ones. Joe's got, I mean, I listen to Joe Rogan sometimes still. Used to, the first time I heard Joe Rogan, like that he actually had a podcast, was his early stuff before it was even like there was no iTunes, there's not any of that. And there was these videos were popping up on YouTube. It was like early YouTube days, I'm pretty sure. And I remember he would talk about DMT. That was the first time I'd really, and then I realized, oh, this is the UFC announcer, like this guy. And he started getting really, I mean, I'd see him on UFC for years since I was in high school, you know, I mean, since like 2003 when I first saw UFC. I know who Joe Rogan. I knew him from Fear Factor too. That's crazy. That's crazy. I knew him from Fear Factor. That's weird. It's funny, like you never met somebody, but it feels like you know them because you hear their voice in their podcast and you've seen them so many times. You guys probably feel that about me, like you know me, but even though we've never met. That could be fun. Joe Rogan, who does a ketogenic diet. I don't know if he still does it, but I remember like for the last year or so, there would be quite a few guests talking about high-fat diets and stuff like that. And Joe Rogan's super into the ketogenic diet. And his other friends, you were talking about, the Fighter and the Kid podcast, I guess, I think they might be into it also. So his whole little crew, and I've actually worked with some clients. I worked with a guy, super nice guy. He was actually an addiction recovery specialist and helped people recover from addiction. And he himself was using a ketogenic diet to overcome some, body issues that, we all deal with these things, whether our addictions, food or drugs or whatever it is. So yeah, a client that I had worked with actually told me that, that he knows Joe Rogan and that like that he recommended to him to get on a ketogenic diet. And then that's how he found me. So I think that's pretty cool. Per Anton Landberg says Joe Rogan is on keto now. Yeah, he's still on keto. That's cool. That's funny. They were talking about psychedelics, keto, Joe Rogan. All right. Speaking of psychedelics and books, have you read or heard of Island by Aldous Huxley? Amazing book and lightly touches on psychedelics in a very positive but cautious light. Must read. Yeah, Aldous Huxley is an interesting character, right? His brother Julian Huxley, their father, like the history of the Huxley family. Very, very well-connected family, tightly knit in with the Anglo-American establishment. Just historically fascinating stuff. The Huxleys, man, as far like the Doors of Perception and those things, I wasn't even that impressed with his writing. I read it at a time where I expected a lot from it, but it was a good description of kind of a certain experience, a certain lens. Yeah, very specific lens through which this experience was framed culturally for an entire culture. And Aldous Huxley, Ken Kesey, a lot of these individuals really framed the possibilities of this experience and really were historically very important figures within the so-called counterculture. Countering what? Interesting, right? But the Huxley's connections with intelligence agencies, with the Roundtable Group, these kind of like the Huxley's kind of like a Cecil Rhodes type character. Very, very interesting. More gentle version. The Huxleys. What are your favorite fruits? Avocados. I like avocados. Avocados are good fruits. Thanks for the question. Son Win says, much better guess than many he had. That's funny. Look, I wouldn't go to LA because look, Joe Rogan's podcast. I'll never be in LA. I'm never gonna go like hang out in LA and just want to kick it in LA. Maybe not never, but I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. I know we'd have some fun. We'd have some interesting conversations. All right, Doobie Brown. Absolutely love Huxley, my favorite author. The Perennial Philosophy is another wonderful book on mysticism. There's a lot of interesting stuff that was published during that period. There was a time when I thought like a lot of it was really great, but as I've aged and more experiences, more life, more wisdom, I don't know. Everything starts to take different form. Huxley was wading in the kiddie pool. The stuff he put out. That's what I'll say. Skim the surface mysticism. Glitter and purtiness mysticism. It was the 60s, right? And then it became a very selfish experience of destruction, and a very Dionysian energetic current flowed through, right? Jim Morrison, these individuals whose father, Stephen Morrison, look up his father. Who was Jim Morrison's dad? Interesting stuff. History is freaking fascinating, right? I love it. It's so cool. And literature, how literature lines up with history. And so many people have probably tuned out. Like, what the heck are you talking about? Aldous Huxley, history. I came here. Tell me what to eat. How many grams of protein, fat, and carb? Sorry, guys. All right. Lakshay Ku. Chug. Lakshay Chug. Lakshay Chug. I don't know how to read your name. I'm not making fun of your name. It's awesome. I love how it's spelled. I was on your last vid. Had a problem that I was not losing fat. Was taking 200 grams of fat. Recommendation. You said don't take 200 grams of fat. Well, your recommendation worked. Thanks. Whew! There we go. So out of all the gibberish I've been talking about today that some of you may be connected with, some of you are like, what is he even talking about? Who is he even talking about? Hey, there you go. If you've been told and you bought the line that you need 300 grams of fat, 250 grams of fat, 200 grams of fat to lose weight and to do a ketogenic diet, and you're not losing body fat, yeah, I mean, just check out the content here. I'll tell you the truth, what I believe to be the truth, right? And I'll give it to you straight. 200 grams of fat's too much for most people. Come on, you don't need 200 grams of fat. You're losing fat. Me, like if I'm trying to gain weight or maintain weight, then 200 grams, 220, even more is sufficient. But yeah, you don't need that much fat. Come on, guys. Okay. Maybe I should start wrapping this up. How long have I been going? How long have I been going? All right. Morad M. What book would you recommend for keto? And I might just have to make this the last question. This will end on a banger. What book do I recommend for keto? There's one book that I would recommend for a ketogenic diet. It's authored by my wife. It's called The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. And I actually got an author credit as well. I gave her all the credit. They're all her recipes. I just helped her with some writing stuff and chapter crap. Not crap. It was very important. She didn't want to do it. My wife, Jessica's cookbook. The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. A training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. I mean, just the title right there kind of gives you an idea why. The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook. A training manual for low-carb, ketogenic, and paleo cuisine. It's more than a cookbook. I say it all the time. It's more than just a cookbook. It's a training manual. There's so much information. There's an entire chapter on how to use spices. We teach you how to build your keto kitchen, what tools we've got in our kitchen. We share with you how we built our kitchen, why we have the things we've got in it. Very simple kitchen, by the way. And the book, all of the recipes are fat loss friendly macros. All right, here we go. I'll answer that question too. This won't be the last question. Sorry. All the recipes got fat loss friendly macros. None of them have 100 or 200 grams of fat. Sorry. You don't need that much fat if you're going for fat loss. And we teach you how to adjust macros. There's so many things that she included in this book, and extra time and energy and care that she put into it. The little things like putting macros for everything, making them all fat loss friendly, teaching you how to adjust, making suggestions and recipes on, okay, if you're going to be cooking for a family and you add some sweet potatoes or something to this for the kids, or, if you make this recipe, you can use them as pancakes and put syrup on them for the kids if your kids are not on keto. She goes the extra mile by putting all these suggestions, and it's so thoughtfully laid out. All right, Lachey, I can get all these comments down and read them, but that's the only cookbook that I would recommend. Pretty much the only book that I would straight up recommend here. Of course, there's other good books out there about the ketogenic diet, but as far as like content, what you're getting, I think the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook is pretty much unparalleled in what it offers, because it's a training manual, and that's available exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. It's not available on Amazon. You're not going to find it anywhere. We don't have any sponsors. We don't have anybody. This is a This is an independent gig. That's why I can say whatever I want. Say what I want. It's great. This is independent. We can put out content like this and give it directly to you. So it's cool. It's available at primaledgehealth.com. It's available in ebook format. And yeah, just check that one out. If you're looking for a keto book. Moby Dick's a good read. Yeah, there you go. Yes, The Scrivener. Another Melville. The Scrivener. It's one of his short stories. I like that one. The Scrivener. How about The Road for like the literature buffs out there? The Road by Cormac McCarthy. That book had me bawling within like a few pages, a few chapters. I just remember the first time I sat down and started reading that book. The way that he writes, Cormac McCarthy's very interesting style. I read a few of his other books too. Child of God. Was a weird book. Interesting, well written. But The Road, that's a masterpiece. I mean, as far as like modern literature, the ultimate question, life, death, the meaning of life, God, that was a great book. The Road. Read The Road. Don't just watch the movie. Although the film adaptation was well done, but you can't match that book. I almost wish I didn't see the film too, because it puts images to it, right? You read the book, it's very different. Incredible book. All right, let's see what else. Evolving Aaron B says, great hangout. Bless you and your family. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. You're always tuning in. You're always sending awesome messages and leaving comments and stuff. Thanks a lot, Aaron. You're awesome. Keep it up. Jesse Chang, what's up in LA? When did I start keto? Maybe, I don't know. I think it was 3 or 4 years. I think maybe like 3.5 years, maybe. I don't know. Somewhere around there. 3 biggest impacts it's had on my life personally. Biggest impacts. It's a part of the journey, right? Like I'm not like sitting here and saying like, oh, keto changed my life and made me who I am. It wouldn't be true. Keto didn't make me who I am. Keto didn't like completely change my life. It was a major shift. Definitely changed the way I relate to food and energy production. It made me able to handle longer periods without food, made me able to be more productive in certain ways, be more focused in certain ways. And it opened up opportunities for me to reach audiences like this. I mean, obviously there's lots of changes there. But keto's not the reason. Keto's not the reason for it all. There's one reason for it all. It's not ketosis. D, everyone here loves the flatbread. The flatbread, all right, so the Ketogenic Edge cookbook has the keto flatbread recipe, but also, if you don't want to get the book, check it out. We put a lot of recipes for free on our website. So check out primaledgehealth.com. I'm going to be signing out now. I got to run. I got to work on my car and figure out a few things. And my daughter and wife are down there with the chickens. We got to give you guys a new tour of like the garden down there. There's got some chickens going on and some interesting stuff. And yeah, it's like a little funky little homestead out there right now. So we're going to have plenty more content to come. Let's see, what did I mention today? I mentioned the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. That's available exclusively at primaledgehealth.com. There's also loads of free content on the website, loads of recipes, a lot of recipes from the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. Some recipes for organ meats like liver are on the website as well. There's an entire section on organ meats in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. So check it out. Check out primaledgehealth.com. Make sure to share and like the video here. Or if you're listening to it on iTunes, leave a positive review. I mean, I don't really put any energy into doing the proper podcast stuff and, the formatting and the write-ups and the timestamps and all that. But hey, all the podcast listeners out there, we appreciate it. We do put it out in podcast form. So if you want just audio, you can check it out in podcast form. We usually put that up on primaledgehealth.com too. So everybody, thank you so much for joining. For everybody who's commented from all over the world. I mean, Sahir Chaudhry. Sorry I didn't get your question, man. It's Morad M. Thanks everybody for questions. Jordan, Doobie Brown, Squirrely Shirley, Jamie Lisa Rodriguez. What's up, everybody? Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for commenting, for asking questions. I'm sorry for anybody whose questions I didn't get to. We just get so many people popping in. I announced this thing at the last minute. I announced this at the very last minute. I think it was like an hour before I was going to do it. I decided, I had a bunch of meetings today, I had all this stuff going on, and I had this span of time. Figured, let's just keep going. Let's do a live broadcast. Let's, meaning me and my family. We all do everything together, right? Jessica's not in the house right now. She's taking care of the kids. When I say me, we, it's the family we. But yeah, and there's been so many people that showed up. So thanks to everybody for watching. We love that you guys tune in here. And we're just really excited to be able to share this with you guys. So again, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook is available at primaledgehealth.com. If you like this stuff, you like joining the live hangouts, and you want to be notified beforehand, we try to send out newsletters before these live broadcasts. I'm sorry to the subscribers that we didn't send one out today. This was an impromptu surprise live hangout, and I hope we were able to help some of you guys out. Hope that most of your questions got answered, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I'm out.